So Harinamamrita Vyakaranam. Exercise for memory. Some of you already know these sutras, some not, so let's repeat. Krishnam upasitum asya srajmev nama valim tanvai त्वरितं वितरेदेशा तत्साहित्यादिजामोदम् आहत जल्पित जटितं दृष्ट्वा शब्दानुशासनस्तोमम् हरिनामावली वलितं व्याकरणं वैष्णवार्थमाचिन्मः व्याकरणे मरुनिवृत्ति जीवन लुब्धा सदाग संविघ्नः हरिनामामृतमेतत् पिबन्तु शतधावगाहन्ताम् साङ्केत्यं पारिहास्यं वा स्तोभं हेलनमेव वा वैकुण्ठनाम ग्रहण मशेषाघहरं विदुः संज्ञा प्रकरणम् नारायणादुद्भूतोऽयं वर्णक्रमः तत्रादौ चतुर्दश सर्वेश्वराः दशावतारः तेषां द्वौ द्वावेकात्मकौ पूर्वो वामनः परस्त्रिविक्रमः त्रिमात्रो महापुरुषः आवर्जितः सर्वेश्वरा ईश्वराः दशावतारा ईशाः आ ई उ अनन्ताः ई उ चतुःसनाः उ रे चतुर्भुजाः ए ऐ ओ औ चतुर्व्यूहाः अम् इति विष्णुचक्रम् अङ् इति विष्णुचापः अः इति विष्णुसर्गः कादयो विष्णुजनाः यवावर्जितास्तु बलः ते मान्ता पंच विष्णुवर्गाः यवर्जितास्तु विष्णुगणः काचाटतपा हरिकमलानि खाचाठतफा हरिखड्गः गाजाडदब हरिगदाः घाजाढाधाभ हरिघोषाः गायणनाम हरिवेणवः तैदत्वर्जिता विष्णुदासः यारालावा हरिमित्राणि शाशासाः हरिगोत्राणि शाशासाः सौरेयः विष्णुदासा हरिगोत्राणि वैष्णवाः हरिगदा हरिघोषा हरिवेणु हरिमित्राणि हश्च गोपालः यादवान्ये शौरी वर्जितास्तु सात्वताः अस्पर्शी प्रयत्नः सर्वेश्वराणां स्पर्शी विष्णुवर्गाणां ईषत्स्पर्शी हरिमित्राणां रादनुस्वराच्च परम् यावाभ्यान्तु पूर्वं विनाय रामस्य पुनर्विष्णुपदादाव ईषत्स्पर्शितरः उपेन्द्रात् क्वचिद् विष्णुपदादौ च वर्णस्वरूपे रामः तदादिद्वये द्वयम् आदेशो विरिञ्चिः आगमो विष्णुः लोपो हरः सूत्राणि षड्विधानि असिद्धरूपं न त्याज्यं प्रतिज्ञेयं प्रकृदन्तिका. Okay, so we did the first sutra and something was still remaining in that. So we are speaking about the Udbhav Sthana. So A, Kavarga, which means Ka, Kha, Ga, Ghanga, Ha, and Visarga, they are Kantha, called gutturals. Then E, Chavarga, means Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya, and Ya and Sha, they come from Talu or palate. U, Pavarga, Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma, they come from Oshtha. Then Ru, Tavarga, Ta, Tha, Da, Dhana, Ra and Sha, they come from Murdha, cerebral. And Lo, Tavarga, Lasanam, Danta. So this Lo, Tavarga, Ta, Tha, Da, Dhana, La and Sa, they are dental teeth. Then we have what we call diphthongs, which are actually mixture of two vowels together, like A is nothing but A and E becomes A, as we will see. So it's a mixed sound. And then we have I, which is A and A. So A de to ho kantha talu. So they are, because there are two A and E. So A comes from kantha, from the throat. E is coming from talu, from the palate. So A takes the characteristic of both. So therefore A is kantha talu. So similarly, O do to ho kanthosta. O is nothing but A and U. So U is lip, right? Yeah. And A is kantha. So therefore it becomes kanthosta. And then vakarasya dantostham. Va is coming from danta ostha va. So in English we have V and W. So there W is lips, right? What? What do you say? Va. So that is labial. So in Sanskrit we don't have W. So therefore Swami is correct is SVA, not SW. Although many times people write SW, but it should be SV. Because here you see Vakara is Dantoshtha and V is Dantoshtha, not W. Right? So Vakarasya Dantostham. So teeth and lip, Dantostham. So you have to put your teeth on lips. Va. Va, va. And Anuswarasya Shiro Nasikava. So then we have Anuswara. So he says that Anuswara is Shiro Nasika. So it is coming from head and nose. He says Va. So primarily it comes from nose. It is a nasal sound. And maybe some shira is also used. So what I learned recently is that Anuswara should be pronounced with closed lips. So like we say Sanskrit, but it is proper pronunciation is Samskrit. Samskrit. So when you say Sam, then it is nose and shira. When you say San, then it is more teeth, San. So Samskrit. But many times you see that they write Anuswara for the Harivenu. Harivenu jar ngayana nama, the fifth letter of the Varga. So at least in Hindi and sometimes in printing you see they just put a dot. But actually it is wrong. It's like if you want to write the word Anga. So Anga should not be written with A and dot and Ga. That is actually wrong. It should be written with A and Nga, the fifth letter of Kavarga, and Ga. Right? Anga, Banga. But you see all the time people just put a dot out of laziness. But it is wrong. So in printing also everyone seems to be following that. But there is a rule which will come that how if Anuswara is being followed by any Vargiya consonant, Vargiya means Ka to Ma, then it will change into the fifth of that letter. So somebody is sharing the screen or what happened? You're doing something? So is it clear? Yes.
So for example in the word Sankhya, like as in
yes,
Sankhya
that is also always written wrong. It should be Nga, Ka Kha Ga Gha Nga, Sa Nga Kha Ya. So there are three conjunct letters coming together, although you only see two. Don't put M with a dot in transliteration, right?
should not, right? Should not.
Yeah, but have you seen it with M with a dot? I have not seen. In transliteration they do it right, but in printing they print it like this. Even in this book it is printed like that. Even Maharaj's book it is printed like that. Everywhere I see it like that. But I don't know why it is like that. Because Anuswar is being followed by Ja, right? So it should become Ya. Unless you want to consider this sum as a separate pada.
Babaji, in my Sanskrit studies, there said that if there is a pratipadik which is formed by combining the sum prefix with other things, it's, I think, sometimes Anuswar ka Ananasik Sandhi is optional, but I'm not too sure.
Well, it is optional if in case of pratipadika, sandhi is compulsory. When you have pratipadika and pratyaya, then sandhi is compulsory. But here it has to be seen, if you want to consider it as a separate word. Otherwise, sandhi rek pade nityam, nityam dhatu upsargayo. Right? Anityam sutra nirdeshe, anyatra cha nityam isyate. That is the sloka. So sandhir ek pada nityam. When you make ek pada, which is ek pada here, Sangya is considered as ek pada as far as I know. You can consult your teacher for this, but as far as I understand, it is ek pada. So Sandhir ek pade nityam. It has to be performed. Sandhi is optional in certain places, like in a sentence, it is optional. You don't have to make Sandhi. Or in a sutra. In case of sutra, it is optional so that sometimes by Sandhi, the word will change and then you may misunderstand the sutra. So therefore, sutra nirdesa. If it is going to cause some confusion, then better not do Sandhi. But in Vakya it is. But when it comes to Dhatu and Upsarga, it is compulsory. And same with Ekpada. So, Sangya is Ekpada. So it should be, according to me. But you can consult your teacher and let's see what he has to say.
I mean, I'm also not an expert on this, but if I remember slightly that the some prefix was an exception to this, but maybe I'm wrong. I just refer to a source.
Well, I have not come across any sutra like that. The optional sutra is there. We will have that sutra. Vishnu Chakrasya Harivenu Vishnu Varge Vishnu Padantasya Tuva. So this is the sutra that Vishnu Chakra, this Anuswara is called Vishnu Chakra here. Vishnu Chakrasya Harivenu. Harivenu means the fifth letter. Vishnu Varge. When it is going to follow any Vargiya consonant, means belonging to Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga or Pavarga, any of them, then it is made Harivenu, fifth of that letter. But if it is coming at the end of a Pada, Vishnu Padanta, then it is an optional. So for example, if you say that Vrindavanam Gacchati, so Vrindavanam, Vanam is an Anuswara there. So Gacchati, so now you have an later on also in Tadhita Prakarana, or but I don't remember this. I will ask also some expert.
Abhishek, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, I have a question on the pronunciation of ch versus ch. For example, in Marathi they call ch as ch, like Chandu Bham. I was wondering if that ch is also there, or its head is also there in Sanskrit.
Ja, jha. Jha is there. You read it? Cha,
What
cha.
about ch?
So I can't make out the difference.
Oh, okay.
What is the difference
So it's
between
Chandu and Chandu. Like one is like extracted from the lips, the other is from the palate.
well,
Like its head.
we only have the palatal. It's very clear here. Ichu Yashanam Talu. So jha. The tongue is in the palate. Jha. There is no jhandu from lips. No. No, there is only one jha coming from the palate. So there are certain sounds in the regional languages, like this ada in Hindi, khada, pada, gada. So in Sanskrit there is no sound like that. They make this da with a dot. It's actually da, khada, pada, but it has changed into khada, pada. Right? So there is no sound in Sanskrit like that. Also in Tamil they have few sounds. So they are not seen here. So is the first sutra clear? We can move to the second. So now he has given, you have to keep in mind the list of the varnas from A to Ha or Ksha Ksha is not a separate one anyway, it is a mixture of conjunct of Ka and Sha. So aha. So this aha is what gives aham. I, aham brahmasmi. So it's coming from Narayana. So when from Narayana comes a and ha, everything is there. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Akshara namakaro asmi. Among the aksharas, varnas are also called aksharas. So I am a. So this is a, and in Panini it is starts from a and ends in la, so it is al, which is all the letters included there. So now he says tatra adau chaturdasha sarveshwara. So tatra adau chaturdasha sarveshwara. 4 words are there in the sutra. So tatra means out of this, tasmin. Out of this means out of this list. Adau means first, chaturdasha, the first 14, they are called sarveshwara. So tasmin varna krame adau chaturdasha varnaha sarveshwar namano bhavanti. So he gives the meaning of the sutra here. So sutras are brief, so therefore you will not see any verbs in there. It is understood certain things. So what are these 14? These are a, e, u, ro, lo, e, I, o, au. So these are the swaras basically, right? Which are called here as Sarveshwara. So he, in general Panini grammar or elsewhere, you will see them called as swara. So he also says here ete swaraha. So sveneva rajante iti swara. Because to pronounce these you don't need the help of consonants. But to pronounce consonants you need the help of swaras. So that's why they are Sarveshwara. Sarveshwara means they are the boss, they are independent. And Vyanjanas will be called as Vishnujana, rightly, Kadya Vishnujana, means they are the devotees, so they are dependent on this. So what you see here in the list, in the first sutra, this Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, A, Nga, so a Sarveshwara has been added into them for pronunciation. Otherwise, really speaking, this would be Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga, you have to say like that. But Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha we are saying because one A has been added to them. So without Sarveshwara, pure conjunct, you will not see any words without Sarveshwaras. Right? So there will be at least one Sarveshwara to hang on to. So that's why they are Sarveshwara.
This word that Sarveshwara, Livy, like Raga Niche Raga, or double Ra. So where is it? Where is it used? I have never seen it. Can you say any word with this?
What word?
Oh, where I have not found this to be used anywhere.
Which word? Which word?
La Livy,
There is only one word, klupta. There is a dhatu, Sanskrit dhatu, klup. And from that you have the word klipta. That is the only way. And Panini does not accept dirgha, lo. He only has Rashva and Pluta. So in Panini the system there is a little different. The A there is of 18 types. Then similarly there is E 18 types, U 18 types, Re 18 types, and this law is 12 only because they don't have dirgha. A, I, O, Au also 12 types because they don't have Hrasva. So there is only one word which is not so common. So it is not surprising that you don't see this. So ete swara achah cha prachina nam. Prachina nam means Panini calls them ach because he has a, I, un, ril, rik, a, I, ong, a, ong, I, och. So that you take the cha, the last, and a, ach. So ach signifies their Sarveshwara. What Jiva Goswami calls Sarveshwara, Panini calls them as ach. And general name for them is swara. Ete swatantra ucharanaha. So he makes it clear that their ucharana, their pronunciation is swatantra, not dependent on vyanjanas. Kadinam ucharanam esham adhinam iti sarveshwara. So he's not going to explain this everywhere, but first time he explains that why he is calling them Sarveshwara. Although he is giving them as names of Krishna, but there is also some reasoning behind why he calls Sarveshwara, why he calls Vamana, etc. So he explains in this particular sutra. Later on he is not going to explain it. Commentators explain, but Jiva Goswami just gives a hint here. So he says that they can be pronounced independently, but ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, etc., all the consonants, Vyanjana, which are called Vishnu Jana here, so their pronunciation is dependent on Sarveshwara. So therefore you will see always any word would have at least one Sarveshwara, one vowel. So evam anyatrapi jayam. So he says evam anyatrapi jayam means now elsewhere also you should understand like that. That's all. He has washed away his hands, Jiva Goswami. He explains once why he calls this as Sarveshwara. So he gave the reasoning here, and now he will not give the reasoning. He says, Chodo hai aapka kaam. This is your job now, understand. No spoon feeding. So he said, you understand like this elsewhere. So now he says, Matra Laghava Matra Putrotsavam iti pare bhimanyante. So there is a very famous statement in the Vaiyakarana circles. Among the Vaiyakarana, they say this, that Matra Laghav Matram Putro Utsavam Manyante Vaiyakarana. That Vaiyakarana's, they feel very happy if they can save one phoneme, if they can save one matra. Means if something can be said briefly, then it is as if a child is born. Previously a son is born, people were very happy. So he says that we are not following that. Because somebody could say that why Jiva Goswami is making long sutras. Like if Panini has to make even sutra here, he will at least cut out Tatrado. He will not have Tatrado. He will say Chaturdasa Sarveshwara. Then Bhashyam has to be done. Chaturdasa here means first Chaturdasa, first 40. So Panini is very, very brief. Alpakshram asandigdam sarvad vishvato mukham. Astobham anavadyam cha sutram sutra vido viduhu. So this is the definition of sutra. The first characteristic of a sutra is alpakshara. Alpa means little, few, akshara, letters. So means brevity, as small as you can make. So that's why he makes this sangya ach, ak, al. Even the sangyas are so small. So he says that we are not following this principle of Vaiyakarana. Iti pare abhimanyante. He says this is others, they consider this. Why we? He says Hari Namakshar Labhad Vayam to Amudrik Tiraskurna. He says we disregard this principle for the benefit of Hari Namakshar. If I can make a lengthy sangya, and that becomes the name of Hari, then I am happy with that instead of making a small name and it's not Hari's name. So he says you have a choice, you want to have a son or you want to have Hari. That's the obvious comparison here. That by making it so brief and you are going to feel happy, Putrotsav, the festival of having a son, who will give you trouble once he grows up, or you want to have the name of Krishna, who will liberate you from the bondage and all suffering. So therefore he says, Harinamaksha labhad vayam tu amudrik tiraskarma. We disregard that. So therefore he has explained why his sutras are not brief. Okay? So then the next sutra, Dasha. Yes.
I had a short question.
Yes.
About this 7 Greek letters and letters 9 and 10, this and I don't think I can pronounce them without my tongue touching the palate.
Which one? Ro?
And so my tongue touches the palate.
No problem. Let it touch.
Okay.
Okay, so next sutra, Dasha Dashavatara. So you see, here now he is not saying Tatradu. So this is also the standard, this is a technique in the sutra, that something if they say once and if it is needed in the next sutra, then don't say it. So you have to carry over it from the previous. This is called Adhyahara. Adhyahara means carrying it over. It's a standard. If somebody asks you, where are you coming from? So you don't say, I'm coming from temple. You say, temple. Right? Where are you coming from? Temple. So temple means, I'm coming from temple. So that I am coming from temple is understood from the question. So there is no need of saying that. So therefore here when it says Dasha Dasavatara, then Tatrado is understood from there. That the first 14 are called Sarveshwara and then 10 are called Dasavatara. So which 10? First 10. So it says Tatrado Dashavarna Dasavatara Namano Bhavanti. So therefore the first 10 A, E, U, Ro, Lo. Ete samanaha akaha cha prachinana. So what he calls here as Dasha Avatara, which are the 10 avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, all this. So Panini calls them as Ak. Somebody in some other grammar they are called Samana. And Tesham Dvau Dvavekatmakam. So Tesham here refers to these 10. So Tesham Dasavataranam Madhye Kramena Dvau Varno Pratyekam Parasparam Cha Ekatmakau Jayam. So out of these 10, then he makes a group of 2 each. So there are 5 couples here. A, E, U, Ro, Lo. So these are 5 groups of 2 each. And they are called Ekatmaka. So Ekatmaka means that their Atma is one. Right? That's when their couple are there, they say that we are one Atma. So Radha and Krishna, one Atma, Ekatmaka. So that means not only that A and A, are ekatmaka, but A is also ekatmaka of A. So that's why it says parasparam and pratyekam. That mutually they are ekatmaka and each one also ekatmaka. Which means if A is there and another A is coming after that, they are ekatmaka of each other. Similarly, A and A. So A is ekatmaka of A and A. And A is ekatmaka of A as well as A. And that goes also with other four groups. So this is what Panini calls as savarna. Yatha A iti dvau ekatmako, I iti dvau ekatmako, evam U ityadi. And similarly, R and L. Atra savarna sangya. So this is also called savarna. So savarna means saman varna. Similar. Pratyekam ekatmakatvam cha spashtam eva iti parasparartham idam sutra. So he says that what is the need of making this sutra? A is ekatmaka of A, it is understood. E is ekatmaka of E, U is ekatmaka of U. Naturally, A and A, and if you have 10 A's, they are ekatmakas, because they are all A's. Their pronunciation, place, everything is same. So he says the sutra is actually made to understand the mutual ekatmakta. That A and A. A is ekatmaka of another A, that is understood, that's not a problem. But primarily the sutra is made for the mutual ekatmakta. So that's why it says paraspara artham idam sutram. That this sutra is for making us understand that they are ekatmaka also of each other, not just of their own. So this will be useful when we go to the sandhi. That when ekatmaka is there, then they combine together and make a long one. So for that he is doing it. And then purvo vamanaha. Tesham ekatmaka nam purva varno vamana nama. Out of these 5 groups, the first one of each group is called also Vamana. Vamana means short. So this is A, I, U, R, L. Ete Hrashva. These are called Hrashva in Panini in general. Some also call it Nirhrashva. And Paras Trivikrama. So Vamana, everybody knows Vamana was dwarf. He was short and born to Aditi and Kashyapa. Went to Bali Maharaj. And then he became Trivikrama. So when the short is pronounced two matra, that becomes Trivikrama. Because that is the meaning of ekatmaka. The Atma is same, you make it bigger, it becomes the other one. You have E, one matra, E, two matra. So Vamana itself becomes Trivikrama if you elongate it.
So Vamana is 1 unit.
He will say this. So Paras Trivikrama, Tesham ekatmaka nam parpara varna Trivikrama nam. So the second of the 5 ekatmaka groups is called Trivikrama. A, I, U, R, L. And this is also called Dirgha. Okay? I think this is enough. Because you have to memorize sutras. Simple, later on it will become complicated, but better to go slow. No hurry. Otherwise, you will lose the steam after some time. So try to memorize this sutras. Okay, anybody has any question before we start?
I have a question.
Yes.
I always used to make a mistake with Rasva and Dirgha. Is there a trick to figure out if which word when you pronounce is Rasva or there is Dirgha? Or when the, yeah.
Well, the trick is time. What else is the trick? Like you say Rama. So you see the difference between Rama and Rama. Or you say Hari and Hari. So you have to just be sensitive to the time. One is taking twice the time, and he will explain it. Another is, the short one takes 1 unit, and the long one takes 2 units. So, his Matsya Avatar writes it is 1/4 of a second, 1 unit. I don't know, he must have calculated it or timed it. But that's what I read in his explanation, that I have not read it anywhere, that 1 unit is 1/4 of a second. So long one will take half a second. Yes. Yes.
क्षमा करें, ये तो पर सवर्ण संधि that we're talking about with the anuswara becoming the Harivenu. I found the PDF where the teacher taught us, but I don't have the sutra from Bharani. But if you want, I can share the screen and show you what I'm saying.
Now you can read it.
So it says that Parasavarna Sandhi Upsargi Vikalpaha, and the examples are Sam plus Kya can be written as either Samkhya or Samkhya. And I don't know if which sutra this is correct or not.
No, the sutra is same which I read, I told you earlier. The sutra is same which I read from Jiva Goswami, because Upsarga is considered as a separate pada.
I see.
Here actually Upsarga, when it is coming with dhatu, then you have to make sandhi. But because sangya, the gya is not a dhatu, it is a noun. So therefore here it is not necessary to make sandhi. Sandhi rek pade nityam, nityam dhatu upsargayo. In case of dhatu and upsarga, it is compulsory. But here it is not upsarga and dhatu, but upsarga and nam. It is a noun. Gya is a noun. You can also have gya independently. Don't have to, like you have vigya, sangya, upagya. So gya itself is a noun. So therefore it is correct that if you can write as an anuswar, that is also right, and if you make it nya, that is also right. Because the sutra which I read was Vishnu Chakrasya Harivenu Vishnu Varge Vishnu Padantasya Tuva. So here Sam is a Vishnu Pada, means a Pada. So Ma will become Anuswar. And then Anuswar you can make it Ya or you can keep it Anuswar. But if you will have a dhatu, for example Sangyapayati, then you have to make, at least that is what I understand from Jiva Goswami, this sloka, Nityam Dhatu Upsargayo. Then you have to make, because now it is an Upsarga. Dhatu, Gyapayati, Gyap Dhatu and some Upsarga, then you have to make Sandhi. So therefore Sankhya Sangya is okay if you put a dot. But if you have to say Sankhyapayati, then you cannot.
So how is it decided then?
No, you have to see whether it is a dhatu or it is a noun.
Right, but in the case where it's optional, then
That's your choice. Optional means both are correct.
so then what do you do?
Nothing. What do you mean? What do you know?
I mean, if you have an option, there has to be some way of arriving at one or the other.
No, the optional means that it is your choice.
Right.
That's what
So
optional
like, I guess I'm asking like, scholars of Sanskrit, why do they prefer one style versus another? Why is it written like this over here and not over there?
It's easy to put a dot than writing. I mean, don't you see this? It's easy. I mean, instead of making ya, which is going to take more time, more space, it's so easy just to put a dot. Simple. And since I have a choice, then you follow the path of least resistance or least effort.
I have also heard, Babaji, that sometimes people say that when a sandhi is optional, when reading a chand, we have to read it like as if the sandhi has been done. But I'm not sure if that's true.
Reading a chanda means that if something is going to the next, then you have to read it like that. Just like when we read this sloka, Vakuntha Nam Grahanam Ashesha Agaharam Vidu. So you have to say Vakuntha Nam Grahana and Mashesha Agaharam Vidu. Of course here it is not Sandhi, it is just joining. But even if Sandhi was there, then you have to do like that.
Help me understand why in the first sutra only the Vishnu chakra is mentioned but not the Vishnu chapa, the Chandra Bindu.
In the first sutra, at least
yes,
in this
Anusvaras.
book, it is mentioned.
Okay, but in the Vritti, he says, this is Anusvara Sashiro Nasika Va, and then no mention of Chandra Bindu. Do you know any specific reason why? Or?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because this is also not there in Panini. See, in Panini, these are not included in the Maheshwar Sutra. They are mentioned later on, but they don't come in Maheshwar Sutras.
Actually, the first two vowels, so like I have learned it like A and A. So is that correct? Because I find your pronunciation a little bit different. It's like what I'm hearing your pronunciation is A and A.
A is pronounced with a little bit of closed throat. The prayatna for this is samvrita.
Okay.
So there are Prayatna Jiva Goswami will also talk in the sutra number. Where is that? Prayatna Sutra is 34. But he doesn't talk about this. There is more description, at least in Panini. There are two types of prayatna. Prayatna means effort. So this is all part of Shiksha. There are Bahya and Abhyantar, means internal effort and external effort. So internal are four, which Jiva Goswami mentions here in the Sutra number 34. Asparshi, Sparshi, Ishat Sparsi. And this Sambrita is only for A. So in Panini there are 4. Sparshi, Isatsparshi, Asparshi and Sambrita. So this Sambrita comes only for A. As I told you that the last sutra in Panini is A. So what he has done is that because this A is pronounced with a closed, little bit of contracted throat, and A is coming open. Now the question is, how can they be ekatmaka?
Correct.
Because ekatmaka are those which have the same prayatna. So now the prayatna of A is vivrita, and prayatna of A is samvrita. So how can they be called ekatmaka or savarna? So what Panini did, see how deeply they think, that in his whole prakriya, he keeps A as vivrita. And then in the last sutra, he says A. That means when you speak it's samvrita, but in my prakriya it is vivrita, so it can be savarna. So then aksavarni dirgha is the sutra, it is applicable. Otherwise aksavarni dirgha will not apply to A and A, because A is samvrita and that is vivrita. So it will not work there. So he kept it open throughout, and in the end he closes it. So therefore there is, in case of E, it is exactly the same except you elongate it. But in case of A, actually it is different. A. You can see my mouth opens more for A and less for A. So Jiva Goswami doesn't speak about it.
What was the name of the man who made the meter 60, a quarter of a second? What was the name?
Meter what?
Quarter of a second, he said?
Matsya Avatar.
Matsya Avatar.
You have the book?
Yes, in here.
No, this book is by Matsya Avatar only. The book you are reading is his.
Oh, okay.
This is his. He writes that in somewhere. So there are Bahya Prayatnas are 11. So Jiva Goswami doesn't talk about that. But you know that when you say from Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, no. So there are Alpa Prana, Mahaprana. Right? And Ka, Ga, Nga, these are Alpa Prana. And Kha, Gha, these are Mahaprana. So more prana is needed. So then there's a Ghosha and Aghosha, Vivara, Shvasa, Nada, Samvara, Vivara, Nada, Ghosha, Aghosha, Alpa Prana, Mahaprana, Swasa, and then they have Uddat, Anudat, Swarit. So that makes it 11. So they are not discussed here. Okay, we'll stop here.
Balaji, one last question.
Yes.
For Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
So you say it?
You just said that.
Not practice it, I don't know how to say it.
I said.
Hare Krishna.
So the thing is that I cannot guarantee that I am pronouncing it rightly. But if you want Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But don't blame me if I am wrong. Disclaimer.